This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and Utizzle, and I hope this broadcast finds you well. I hope my voice is coming through good, and everybody can hear me, and hope we're going to have a good stream, but we don't need anybody. Why am I saying that? That's because that's what Donald Trump said today, and you know what? We don't. And the sooner this country gets it through their head that we don't need anybody else's oil, we don't need anybody else's foreign conflicts, we don't need to be financing other people's prescriptions on the other side of the ocean and financing their, air quotes, free health care for their Marxist policies. The quicker we get away and unentangle ourselves from these foreign irritants, the better off we'll be. We can be good friends, but like I told you all a story about a buddy of mine told another friend, I can't afford you as a friend. And that's where we're getting down to with some of these boneheads over in Europe and abroad and in other places. So anyway, I'll get into all that. But what do? I play videos while people settle in and get themselves a cup of coffee or a cold bruja or an adult libation or maybe even a glass of milk. Whatever you want, whatever is your want. And so in case we get anybody new, I'm going to play this series where Lord Logan lays it all right out there. Our leaders are selected, and you can see Zelensky getting a butt squeeze. We're dealing with a bunch of weirdos and a system that has been for over a millennium running Europe. That's why desperate people got on boats to come over to the New World, to get away from that stuff. We don't need to invite it in. But anyway, I'll get into all that in a minute, and then I'll play my video. And what will we do? We'll be like butter and get on a roll.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly imagine. Before we even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all of their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything because they've lied about COVID, they lied about Russia collusion, they lied about the Ukraine impeachment trial, and there's so much more going on in Ukraine that nobody is talking about.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
My job as a journalist is to try to understand what is the truth here. I don't like being lied to, and we're being lied to on an epic scale. When we're told your only choice is you have to be 100% with Zelensky. Slava Ukraina. The puppet who you can find on the internet in black stilettos and leather pants. Zelensky was selected, like so many of our leaders. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud these days, we don't know how many leaders all around the world have been selected for us and weren't actually voted in.
How to build back better.
We have to build back better.
Build back better.
If Donald Trump gets the Republican nomination, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to ensure he doesn't win.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world. To pretend that this war is about Russia and Ukraine is a barefaced lie. Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing in Ukraine. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering for many of the leaders in this country. Billions of US dollars have been laundered through Ukraine, and we say nothing about it. Does nobody question these things? We have an idiot like Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Mr. Vindman.
Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, please.
Do you always insist on civilians calling you by your rank?
And sits there as a lieutenant colonel. He didn't even make colonel. And he's telling the president of the United States what his policy should be. You have a traitor in the form of Maria Yovanovitch, who was Obama's ambassador, who's telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the will of the American people.
In his July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky, the president badmouthed Yovanovitch, calling her bad news.
I was shocked. absolutely shocked.
And then she's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University. And we're told that the President of the United States cannot say to his foreign counterparts that we want you to look into something.
If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. And they put in place someone who was solid.
So much hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center of it all.
You want to play this? Okay. Come on. Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
Storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
I think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I almost went on a rant before I played my videos. I usually just say, hi, everybody, how you doing? I play some videos. I just got myself in the state this evening. So I'll settle down a little bit, and then we'll get down to business. But how you doing, Todd? Melinda's here. Sissy's here. Nice to see you, Cole. Miss Mendersu. Angela. Linda's here. Nice to see you, Robin. All right, Sparky. Linda Marie. Let's see. See very much. I'm just trying to read the chats as I go. Here, we got a Debbie. Debbie is in here. Let's see. Who'd I miss? I miss anybody so far? Let me see. We go down the list. All the salutations. Doc is here. How you doing, Doc? Cole and flannel cheese. Bill's here. And my lurkers. Hello to all the lurkers. Sparky, you're not lurking. You jumped right in. Wayne's here. Give me a thumbs up. Tammy's here. I want to thank Wayne and Tammy and Mike and Bev for going by buy me a coffee this week. Devin, how are you doing? Clean up, nice to see you. Did I miss anybody? Mountain's here. All right. Let's see if we get some newbies in tonight. I gotta get my bombs lit and primed, ready to go. Sometimes it takes a second. When I first do them, kapow! These are the quick ones. The pow, pow, pow. That's my cluster bombs. And I got to get my machine gun going too. I might need pow, pow, pow. No, it's a 45. Pow, pow, pow. Who else slipped in here? I got all my special stuff going there. Miss Bendersu's putting in a bunch of booms. That's good. I got some videos of Trump. Little press conference before the board meeting of the Kennedy Center. They're shutting that joint down for 2 years. They put out I almost put that story up last night. Rick Grinnell, they were saying Rick Grinnell's been fired, and there's speculation of a rift. And Trump said himself, it's all BS. He wasn't fired. He's going on to other things. And, there's a couple of stories I didn't report on. Because, like with the Rick Grinnell story, I knew it was BS and wasn't worth getting into. And the other one was the lobster thing, where they were wiseacring about our troops getting some decent meals. And I've learned, when I get aggravated and very animated, I am broadcasting to the general public, and the internet is forever, and I should wait for the steam to go down a little bit before I start talking. I've learned that lesson, so I don't say anything too harsh. But I might get into it tonight. I don't know. So we're going to watch some Trump videos. We're going to watch some weirdo losers, people that have been infected with the TDS and influenced by the Marxist education system that has infested our nation. Some of the things I talked about at the very beginning of the video. We don't need anybody. We didn't need anybody up until World War I, when we got suckered into going over there with Woodrow Wilson. And this is the thanks we get. Trump will address it. We got allies or we got users, people that just use us. And, we didn't need an income tax on people's personal services, okay? Because that is the equivalent to slavery. I knew that when I was in the 6th flipping grade. When I looked at the 16th Amendment, I said, what the hell did they do that for? Oh, that's right. That's right. Because it was temporary. Because it was for the war effort. Because it was for only the rich. The easiest way to get a mob mentality is to go after people you perceive to have more than you. That is the most base emotion to draw on, jealousy. And, they sure got away with it. They sure got away with it. I think we're going to be doing away with that very soon. I'm tired of sending money in so they can do what they've been doing, giving it to Somalia and all the other anti-American efforts that are going about. We've got stories about how they're always trying to help the children, help the homeless, help. They're helping themselves, just like with the Kennedy Center. Trump was saying, there were some small theaters underground, down in the basement. They're just not, you can't do anything with them. It's just junk. It's just hokey, crappy, low quality junk nobody can use. Maybe be able to rent it out. Who knows? But they charge like $300 million for these micro theaters down below the main center. A hog trough, like the Fed that is insulated by the likes of Count Boasberg. We can't find out where our $1 billion went. And the Fed building may not even get built. Kind of like the high-speed rail. We're so sick of hearing all of this rank, open corruption and thievery and betrayal of our nation. Over and over and over again, we hear it held right underneath our nose. And why the hell didn't somebody walk around with shackles on their ankles? What the hell? Like James Wood, here he is. He put this out yesterday. I didn't get to it. Republicans have the presidency, the Supreme Court, the House, and the Senate. And yet, we don't have a voter ID law. Not a single crooked Democrat has been jailed, censured, impeached, or expelled. Taxpayers are being defrauded by the billions, and Republicans do nothing. Reminds me when Trump was going to his, he was going to a UN, I think it was his first UN speech, where he told the world the future is for patriots, okay? Not the globalists. But that speech was ignored, not even reported on, because you know what the big news was? Nancy Pelosi doing that funeral walk like down in New Orleans. They're all walking like they're in escorting a casket, and they're carrying impeachment over crap. So anyway, Trump said when he was getting out of his vehicle, he said, "I guess I got to do everything myself. Nobody wants to help me. I have to do everything myself." And what did he do? He had J.D. Vance. He's doing the fraud thing. I can't believe that it's not for nothing, as they say in New York City. Not for nothing. Let me see if I can find it. Because Dan Scavino posted a truth about this new fraud unit or group or whatever you want to call it. I've got it in here somewhere. It's so hard to go through these things. But, yeah, we want results. And timing is everything. I mean, timing is important. I know that. And here we go. Dan Scavino put this up. Happening now in the Oval Office at the White House, President Donald Trump will be signing an executive order to formally launch a fraud task force led by Vice President J.D. Vance, and there they all are in the Oval Office. Well, if you got a bunch of Boasbergs and Frimpong from God knows where, sitting on the federal bench, got 2 or 3 different citizenships. You know, I didn't even get into that. For a good number of shows, I've been meaning to get into this. You know, we got treaties with Mexico, with Canada, all these different countries. You know what? If somebody comes over here and gets an American citizenship and maintains, which used to be unheard of, you had to forswear your citizenship. They maintain their other citizenship. You know what? They're not as exposed to law as far as consequences as an American citizen. Because our treaty with, I mentioned Mexico, Canada, Israel, many, many others. Well, if you have one of our citizens, you cannot put them to the ultimate penalty, I'll say. DEATH, right? We're bound by treaty. So there's no equal protection under the law with these people that are maintaining dual citizenship. They have a default that they can fall back on that guarantees them that they won't face the ultimate penalty. We got to rewrite those treaties. Okay? We got to rewrite those treaties. You get people over here, even for stuff like spying, like what happened with the Rosenbergs. Okay? The ultimate penalty. Rewrite the treaties and get rid of this dual citizenship crap. You can't ride two horses, okay? Equal protection under the law, equal consequences under the law. Telling me you're some kind of superior being. Hi, Darla, how you doing? Who else did I miss? I've been letting chats go by and not paying attention to who's coming in, but I get on a rant, you know. Let's see. Where did I leave off at? I don't even know. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? It's like being a natural citizen, being born in this country, lawfully having parents that are citizens. You're a citizen, and you're at a disadvantage. You're not treated the same under the law. Yeah, that's true. That's the way it is. They're protected. You are not. Look at this old creep right here. Let me go over some stuff that was getting pumped out by the radical lunatics in the mainstream media. Who Trump used the word treason. I'm not pulling punches anymore. With this media that is undermining our nation, using propaganda. Who's this? Ed Markey. Ed Markey. Trump's illegal war in Iran is costing people $1.8 billion more per week on gas. We must break our addiction to fossil fuels. Talking out of both sides of his mouth like Greta von Thunberg. We got to break our addiction to fossil fuels. They're not fossil fuels, you old fossil. It's organic. I know I say it a lot, but I got repetition creates memory. And as we've learned from the Mockingbird media, repetition can even make an untruth in the minds of people a truth in their mind's eye. Remember me? How many times have I mentioned the mind's eye? When you see through a prism, when you change the way you look at things, things change the way they look. Well, it's time for us to put the prism of truth up to these people. The term fossil fuel is a propagandist's language. It's an organic liquid, the second most abundant liquid on the face of the earth next to water, oil. The earth makes it every day, every hour, every minute, while you sleep, while you're awake, and been doing it for 1 billion years. So, illegal war, you say? Who put this up? Christina Guaya. She's letting us know that old fossil Ed Markey is running around talking this garbage. Dem Senator Ed Markey claimed that added money The added money that people are spending at the pump due to the Iran military operation could have funded progressive programs cut in the big, beautiful bill. I don't need to go through them, okay, about what they wanted to do to help the children. No, the trans children. Americans are in for a crude awakening at the pump. Trump's illegal war in Iran is costing people $1.8 billion more per week on gas. How long has Markey been in office? Where the hell were you in '79 when they did to us what they did to us? We should have blown them out of the water then. Reagan wanted to. Reagan wanted to get rid of Cuba back then. Kennedy wanted to get rid of Cuba. Oh, that's right. They attempted to assassinate Reagan. They actually assassinated Kennedy. It's not an illegal war. It's a just war. That money could fund home energy tax credits. See, they get control of your money, and then they can use it to bribe and buy constituents, pay for attorneys to come to the feet of the great Count Boasberg to distort the law and fundamentally change our system of government without going through any constitutional amendments or anything. You just have a corrupt judge wave his little magic wand. Electric vehicle rebates. Why should we all pay for some dope to go buy a battery-operated car? Or any car for that matter. Go in the market and compete. Buy what's best for you. We must end the war and break our addiction to fossil fuels. Well, you can shrivel up and just like, what is that? James Carville. Go with James Carville and go back in your crypt, you ghoul. So, more, when's the last time you heard anything out of Markey? I don't even know where he's a senator at. I don't know, and I don't care. The percentage of so-called representatives and senators that are in there from corruption and election theft and graft and bribery is more than 50%, I'll tell you that. What's happening with us is not the will of the people. What's this? Ed Doherty said, Eric Doherty, breaking Nick Shirley. Here we got this 24-year-old kid doing a yeoman's job that the so-called press is supposed to be taking care of. Confirms this California investigation is dropping tomorrow. That's supposed to be today. Gavin Newsom is about to get his career ended. Well, we'll see about that. Millions of people are watching. Greaseball Gavin. How many times have we shown the high-speed rail fraud, the California fire scams, holding back the water and desertifying areas of the state of California, turning them into deserts. And nobody bats an eye. Where is the damn outrage? Where is the damn outrage? So will Nick Shirley create outrage? I mean, conservatives are at peak outrage. And we're getting down to a point where we have the leftovers that don't want to know what's going on. Or I say don't know what's going on. That can be woken up. That number is shrinking. We're getting down to the drooling rabid, James Carville, vicious scum that make up the Democratic Party and normal human beings. We're pretty much maxed out. And everybody in between that category are just lackadaisical morons that don't care. They care more about their basketball team or football team than they give a damn about the future of the country. And you're always going to have that. Dopes. So one thing got me going. This was just before I came up from my notifications, which I don't ask for. Axios. Everybody knows that's just a commie outfit. This is the kind of crap that pops up on people's phones. Not just me. We were told about Google and Apple pushing narratives, pushing propaganda, and ignoring conservative stories. Hegseth's, quote, no quarter, unquote, Iran talk alarms legal experts. What? Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth pledge of no quarter, no mercy for our enemies violates a bright line ban in the laws of war. What the hell are you talking about, Axios? What the hell do you know about anything? What the hell do you know about war? Iran's responsible for at least 2,000 American deaths for 47 years. No quarter is exactly what George Washington gave the Hessians when he crossed the Delaware in that famous painting. And he didn't violate the laws of war. You have a regime that admitted on record to that independent agency of the UN, IAEA, International Atomic Energy, whatever the hell they are. We got enough uranium for 11 bombs. They're threatening mass destruction. They're threatening genocide. They're not threatening, they're promising it. If they get it, they will wipe out people they don't agree with. International. They executed 30,000 people, their own people, a couple of weeks ago. 30,000. You know how they do it? Either lead or sword. Okay? Trump talked about how when women were protesting, snipers were putting one between their eyes. Now, they weren't protesting like our lunatics protest. They weren't distracting law enforcement or interfering with law enforcement duties or putting people in jeopardy or throwing food at them or chunks of ice or frozen water bottles or rocks. They were chanting and holding up signs. And all of a sudden somebody drops. And they got one between the eyes. Government-sanctioned assassination of civilians without warning. Just yesterday, they put out a statement, official statement. Anybody protesting will be killed on the spot. So Axios, you want to talk about laws of war? There is no situation where any government can sanction shooting their people down in the streets for simply protesting. It's a crime. It's a crime to menace and terrorize other nations and to pay and enable other entities to blow things up or to menace countries by saying, we got enough for 11 bombs and we will wipe out your great Satan. That kind of talk gets you no quarter, perfectly within the laws of war. We take you at your word. We take you at your word. And we've seen that you have committed genocides. We see that you have committed murders in the name of law and order by the tens of thousands. When the Allies came through Germany and they were using 12-year-old boys to take Panzerfausts, to take out tanks, and if that little 12-year-old kid turned around and ran away, they hung him from the nearest tree or lamppost. That was in the order. When Allied commanders caught the responsible officers, and there were many of them, who ordered those kids to get hanged? This guy right here. Drumhead Tribunal, right there on the spot. Did you do that? Yes, I did. I had order. Go ahead. Firing squad right now. Pow, pow, pow. That was it. They're done. Right there in the field. And it was legal. Because they were committing atrocities against children. Undeniable. And in many cases admitted to it. So their sentence was carried out once they went through their due process. Miss Mendershoe, are you feeling better, I hope? Yeah, libtards, they're making me sick. Especially when what's going on, Angela? Oh, your kitty's sick? Well, I hope she shakes it off. I worry about my little cat too. But she's pretty tough. How old is your kitty, Angela? Miss Wintershoe, you trying to walk that off where you hurt your hip? I hope you are. Are you cooking dinner tonight? Oh, your daughter's kitty. Oh, oh my goodness. Well, I've had to say goodbye to some pets in my day. I'm old enough where I've outlived a number of wonderful pets that lived a long time, and it's hard. KNS, how you doing? Whoa, where'd my chats go? There. 2 years? Oh, that's young. Dinner's over. Dinner's over, Miss Mendershoe said. Well, we came up too late. So anyway, that's my part of my rant. Let me here. Let's play a clip from Donald J. Trump. I got a number of them. Let's see, which one do I want to play first? I'll play some short clips. Holy cow, how many things did I upload? My word. There's so many different things going on, but hopefully they're all coming towards the same conclusion. They're all following along the same intricate webs. Here's where he said we don't need anybody, I think. Just so you know, I'm not fibbing by putting that quotation to Donald J. Trump.
Here's with NATO. Because NATO is us. You can ask Putin. Putin fears us. He has no fear of Europe whatsoever. He fears the United States of America and the military that was built by me in the first term.
That's the one where he said, basically saying, nobody cares about NATO, all right? It's us. It's us they're worried about. And that goes for China, too. This might be the quote. If we get anybody new in, I'll try to keep an eye out for them. Just let them drift on by till I get to them.
Are more than ours. We get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait, and some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%, China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait.
Yeah, a lot of people need what's coming out of there a hell of a lot more than we do. Well, I hope I didn't take that one down. You just have to trust me. He said we don't need anybody. We don't need anybody, okay? Here we go. Let's see what this one is. Yeah, China. People are saying, well, China's not going to help. You spend over 190 days. They've done no flyovers of Taiwan, no aggressive acts like they've been doing every foggy day. Why is that? Because I tell you why. Because Trump could look at Iran and say, you want the Strait cut down or shut down? You want to charge a toll? How about this? How about if I show you how to really shut down the Straits? Okay? Because we don't need it. And Britain, China, all these other countries, you don't want to help keep it open? Fine. I'll show you how to shut it down and shut it down right. None of you get squat out of there. Watch how fast things change. But anyway.
Kennedy Center. Okay, yes, please. CNN.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not CNN, I'm Daily Wire, but thank you for the question. Numerous countries have told me they are on their way. Can you give us a hint what they are, what that entails, how soon they might be there?
You mean who are the countries?
Yes, sir.
I'd rather not say yet, but we'll be announcing Marco Rubio and the various people that are doing that will be announcing. And we do, I have to tell you, we have some that are really enthusiastic. They're coming already. They've already started to get there. It takes a little while to get there. It's like, in some cases, you have to travel an ocean. So it doesn't go that fast, but it'll go fast. And we have some that are fairly local that are doing it. But we'll give you a list. Some are very enthusiastic and some are less than enthusiastic. And I assume some will not do it. I think we have one or two that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years at, tens of billions of dollars, Mr. Speaker. So I'll be reporting that to you in the House and the Senate. And I'll say, why are we protecting countries that don't protect us? And I've always felt that was a weakness of NATO. We were going to protect them. But I always said, when in need, they won't protect us. Now, this isn't need. Need would be one of the big boys. But I will say that we built the greatest military in the world, and we protect people. And if we need their mine boats, or if we need anything, any piece of apparatus that they may have because of a situation that they have, they should be jumping to help us, because we've helped them for years stay out of wars. Yeah, please.
Yeah, he's going to give Johnson in Congress a breakdown. So it goes in the congressional record that we've been helping these people for 40 plus years. And what are we getting back? Squat. We spend tens of billions of dollars and we get back squat. He said this isn't a need, but if we do need something, they should be jumping to help us. They always expect us to jump for them.
Have you been speaking with the French President Macron about the coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I have spoken to him. he's been on a scale of 0 to 10. I'd say he's been an 8. Not perfect, but it's France. We don't expect perfect.
Are you confident that France will help with the reopening of Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think he's going to help. I mean, I'll let you know. I spoke to him yesterday. I don't do a hard sell on them because my attitude is we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there. I was very surprised with the United Kingdom, because the United Kingdom, 2 weeks ago, I said, why don't you send some ships over? And he really didn't want to do it. I said, you don't want to do it. We've been with you. You're our oldest ally. And we spend a lot of money on, NATO and all of these things to protect you. I mean, we're protecting them. We're working with them on Ukraine. Ukraine's thousands of miles away, separated by a vast ocean. We don't have to do that, but we did it. Well, Biden did it. I mean, I have to be honest with you. Biden got taken to the cleaners. But we worked with them in Ukraine. We don't need to work with them in Ukraine. And then they tell us that we have a mine ship around, and they don't want to do it. I think it's terrible. No, I was very surprised. I told him, we requested 2 aircraft carriers, which they had, and he didn't really want to do it. And then right after the war essentially ended, meaning they were obliterated, he said, I would like to send the aircraft carriers. I said, I don't need them after the war has ended and won. I need it before the war. So I was very upset not upset, I was not happy with the UK. I think they'll be involved, yeah, maybe. But they should be involved enthusiastically. We've been protecting these countries for years with NATO, because NATO is us. You can ask Putin. Putin fears us. He has no fear of Europe whatsoever. He fears the United States of America and the military that was built by me in the first term.
Yeah, he's just reiterating. Who's got the stick? We do. We do. Now, he said 2 of them that aren't gonna help. Maybe not 2, but it looks like 2. And I'm gonna tell you, one of them is gonna be Germany. He's talking about how many troops we have over there. Well, I believe that's exactly what he's talking about. Germany is one. Where? Oh, holy cow! What's this? What is this? Let's see. I don't know what to make of this, but the Ruskies put it up. Former Republican Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, urged Trump to use nuclear weapons to create an alternative waterway to the Strait of Hormuz. What? Instead of forever fighting for a 21-mile narrow passage, we will dig a new canal. Wow. Through friendly territory. A dozen thermonuclear explosions, and you'll have a waterway wider than the Panama Canal, deeper than the Suez Canal, and safe from Iranian attacks. Gingrich wrote in the Hill. Well, I don't know if that's just a little move to keep people on their toes or what that is, but that would definitely get people's attention. Give people something to think about, Let's see what some of this stuff was coming over the Telegram. The Telegram. Following Britain. Whoa. Oh, that might be the other one. Let me see. Where is it? There it is. Following Britain, Australia has also backed out on the topic of convoys in the Strait of Hormuz. It, too, will not be sending ships to the Persian Gulf to escort tankers. In general, let's see what half-baked... Now, you got to remember, This is Ruski news. So who knows the method of their madness? Calling Trump's ideas half-baked measures Trump will be able to sign to cover up his failure. His failure. Okay, well, we'll see about that now, won't we? Won't we, Putin? I think it's all a big game myself. Donald Trump suggested that his visit to China, scheduled for March 31st, might be postponed in order to put pressure on Beijing as an ally of Tehran. The authorities intend to announce the creation of a coalition of countries ready to participate in the protection of ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz in the near future, reports the Wall Street Journal. The newspaper's sources, remember what Dan Scavino told us about sources, believe that the White House will announce the coalition this week, but the timing may still change depending on the situation on the battlefield. Well, they will announce these grandiose things that Trump had announced. He hadn't announced a coalition of escorts or anything like that. But they want to make it as grandiose as possible, so things fall short. They can say Trump's not competent. But you all know that. Look at these idiots here. This young guy came up and got these French ministers or whatever the hell they are. Asked them, can you find Iran on the map? None of them knew where Iran was even on the map. These are the idiots that are running our allied countries. And I guarantee you, if you walked up to Jasmine Crockett, AOC, or any number of hundreds of people in Congress, they couldn't find it either. Couldn't find Iran on the map, pointing instead to Bulgaria, Turkey, Afghanistan, and even Saudi Arabia. How many times do you all remember the teacher showing you Saudi Arabia on the map, and you knew it looked like a big boot, and Italy was the little boot? Remember that? One of them gave up and admitted, we don't all know, but we're doing everything in our power. You shouldn't have any damn power. You wouldn't be able to take care of yourself in the real world. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated that Tehran is not seeking a ceasefire, not out of a desire for war, but to permanently discourage enemies from repeating such attacks. According to him, Iran's opponents have now seen what kind of a country they're dealing with, a state that will defend itself for as long as necessary. Well, Trump called you a paper tiger now, okay? That's what you are. But the media keeps putting the same boats up over and over and over again, acting like there's chaos in the straits. It's not safe, entirely safe. It never was. All it takes is one lunatic group to go out there with some mines or lob a small missile and cause chaos. They've been doing it for years. Here we go with Germany. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius. What does Trump expect? A handful of European frigates can do what the powerful U.S. Navy cannot? This is not our war, and we did not start it. Oh! NATO is supposed to protect. You attack one in NATO, you attack them all. But, nobody gave a damn in 1979 when they took over our embassy. That's the same as attacking U.S. soil. Oh, how they got away with it. They said they were students that took over the embassy. It wasn't the government itself. And everybody bought that BS. By all rights, NATO should have put the smackdown on Iran 30 or 40 years ago. But no, they double-talk their way out of their obligations. Germany will not participate with its army in ensuring the security of the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, Trump warned you. He warned Angela Merkel, you should have done a deal with us on oil and gas instead of Russia. You didn't listen. Now you don't want to help with the Strait of Hormuz? You're really going to learn a lesson. The issue of Germany's participation in ensuring security of the Strait of Hormuz is not up for discussion, according to Merz. Okay. What did Trump say? We'll remember this. We'll remember this. You didn't come to help us. Allies are users. They're just users. Here, let's see what this one is. Let's see what this one is. Interceptions of Iranian missiles over Doha, the capital of Qatar, at this moment. There's so many missiles being intercepted, so many drones being shot down, and they don't report it. Trump said it was the first time I saw AI being put up on the news. Fake pictures of ships burning, fake reports about the USS Abraham Lincoln being on fire, AI images by the mainstream media. Remember that. That's going to come back. The Iranian news agency Tasnim has named the preliminary conditions under which Iran could open the Strait of Hormuz. Well, first of all, you shouldn't be in a position to shut it down. And you're not going to be when all this is over with. Among them are a guaranteed lifting of sanctions, the withdrawal of American bases, yeah, fat chance. The return of frozen assets, well, Obama's not in office anymore. And the development of a non-dollar trade. Even without Trump, anybody who talked about that, from Gaddafi to Kennedy, yeah, they got to business. So that's not going to go anywhere. Let's see. Axios. What the hell is Axios talking about? Same ones that put that garbage on my phone. Claims there are sources in the Trump administration expect the war with Iran will last until September. Well, remember, the midterms are in November. The commander of the U.S. Central Command, Admiral Brad Cooper, stated that more than 100 Iranian naval vessels were destroyed, which quickly deprived Iran of the ability to threaten the freedom of navigation in the strait. That reminds me, I was going to get a picture of Rachel Maddow and say, who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe as far as reports on what's going on in the Middle East? And put a picture of Rachel Maddow up. Are you going to believe her, or are you going to believe this guy here? This is the latest update. Many of you may have heard it, but many of you may not. I will play it as it is an official update on Operation Epic Fury.
Hi, I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of U.S. Central Command, here to provide another update on Operation Epic Fury. First, I want to remember and honor our fallen warriors who made the ultimate sacrifice in the KC-135 refueling aircraft incident last week. We hold their memories and their families, their friends and their teammates in our prayers. Their selfless service and dedication hardens our resolve. For 16 days, we've delivered overwhelming firepower deep into Iran. This past Friday, U.S. forces executed a large-scale precision strike on Karg Island, destroying more than 90 Iranian military targets, including storage bunkers for naval mines and missiles and other military infrastructure. To date, our Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps aviators have collectively flown more than 6,000 combat flights, demonstrating the unmatched capability of America's joint force as we maintain air superiority over Iranian skies. We continue to remain centered on our military objectives. These are well-defined and include eliminating Iran's ballistic missiles, drones, and naval threats. It's one thing to defend by striking launchers and intercepting missiles and drones, but it's another thing to eliminate the wider manufacturing apparatus behind them. And we are doing that today. We've talked about it in concept. Here's what it looks like in reality. Let me show you, for the first time, a few examples of how we are dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, which will prevent threats to the region into the future. Here you see a photo from March 1st of a naval drone storage facility located near the Strait of Hormuz. This is the same location 8 days later, completely destroyed. Next, here's a photo taken of an attack drone production factory in Tehran on March 5th. Here's that same factory 6 days later after a devastating barrage of U.S. airstrikes. And finally, the Yazdi military depot, pictured here last month. These 8 buildings are part of the IRGC's missile command infrastructure and are used to produce light and heavyweight torpedoes. Now, here's that same military depot just last week, or what's left of it. U.S. and partner strikes are doing exactly what they are intended to do, deliver on very clear military objectives to eliminate Iran's ability to project power against Americans and against its neighbors. We're also zeroed in on dismantling Iran's decades-old threat to the free flow of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz. Through a combination of air, land, and maritime capabilities, we have successfully destroyed over 100 Iranian naval vessels, and we aren't done. We will continue to rapidly deplete Iran's ability to threaten freedom of navigation in and around the Strait of Hormuz. Our progress remains steady, and we remain vigilant against the enemy. Now, a few thoughts about Iran. Over the last 2 weeks, they have launched attacks on Oman, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Jordan, Cyprus, Turkey, Azerbaijan, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Iraq, Kuwait, and Bahrain. In each of these countries, they are deliberately attacking innocent civilians. They've done this more than 300 times, which demonstrates their true nature as a global leader of terror. In just the last few days, the Iranian regime launched a reckless attack against civilian neighborhoods in Tel Aviv with cluster bombs, an inherently indiscriminate type of munition. We join countries across the region in condemning this aggression, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with our partners in bolstering our own defenses. In sum, I will reinforce what I've said before. Iran's capabilities are declining as our capabilities and advantages continue to build. And finally, I'd like to talk about the extraordinary 50,000 Americans who are deployed across the region executing this vital mission. It's long been my belief that every success we have begins and ends with our people. And today I'd like to recognize our unsung heroes, the sustainers enabling America's joint force to unleash this devastating firepower 24/7. To be clear, there's no other military on earth that does logistics like the U.S. military, and our team is at the top of their game today. They're managing distribution networks that span thousands of miles to ensure that munitions, fuel, and supplies reach warfighters on the front line on time, every time. To all our sustainers and logisticians, thank you and keep up the great work. And to the entire Operation Epic Fury team, keep pushing, remain steady, fight to win. Thanks so much and Godspeed.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'd rather listen to him than Rachel Madcow and attacking their neighbors and the use of cluster bombs, okay, and documented indiscriminate execution of protesters. Yeah, no quarter. You're an international menace. You are a clear and present danger, and we're going to wipe you out. Or you can surrender. You know, there's a way to stop it. There's a way to stop it. That is surrender. You know, tomorrow is supposed to be a Persian New Year. Have y'all heard that? And Shah or the son of the Shah, Reza Pahlavi, came out saying, for people, the message I was hearing to come out and celebrate. Well, Trump and everybody and their brother is telling people to stay inside till the bombing ends. Go get what you need, get back in the house and stay in the house. Here's what's going on. They get comfortable and they're like, it's like, well, what are they doing? Hey, let's go to the movies, or let's go, I don't know, they got a Walmart or how they get around. But they're all driving around. Look what happens. Screw the New Year's. We'll take care of the fireworks, okay? We'll give you guys fireworks. Just stay inside. Here's a report. Let me see. I uploaded it. Let me see what it's about. Who is this? News Nation. Okay, this might not be too bad then. When you see CNN and all the others, it's like, oh God, what could it be?
About the political impacts of this. I have to do what's right. Political, I'm sure everybody has concern. I have to do what's right. I can't say that, I don't want to have any impact on oil prices for 3 or 4 weeks or 2 months, and we're going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon and blow up the entire East and beyond, right? Because, they were going to blow up the Middle East. If I didn't terminate the Obama horrible deal, the Iran nuclear deal, it's called. If I didn't terminate that in my first term, they would have already had a nuclear weapon, and they would have used it immediately upon getting it. And if I didn't send in the B-2 bombers to bomb the hell out of it and obliterate, and that's what it was, we obliterated that site and stopped all their potential nuclear. If I didn't do that, you would have had Israel and the Middle East hit by nuclear weapons. And we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Yeah, does the regular news put that up? We get this off of News Nation or Newsmax, but you don't see it. You don't see it on CNN and all these ABC, CBS. Hi, Roland, how you doing? Chats were glitchy. Hi, Devin. Yeah, I didn't. I hope it wasn't anything I did. I don't think so. Jerry's here. Let's see. Oh, I put a link for Buy Me a Coffee in at the 59-minute mark. If anybody wants to help support the channel, it's a totally viewer-supported channel. I do appreciate it very much. Look at this. The Young Turks. Where did I say they got their money from? Their seed money? Their seed money to start their program. Qatar, where Tucker Carlson hangs out. The Young Turks said Trump admits Iran war is pointless. When did he ever say that? The Young Turks, more like the middle-aged Turks, okay? The middle-aged perverts is what I think, after listening to Chunk Uger talk about donkeys. But anyway, Trump openly admits the war is completely pointless. Tucker Carlson sounds the alarm as the CIA attempts to build a criminal referral against him. Oh, they're all circling the wagons there. The Qatar gang. So anyway, there are other ones, just like Midas Trash Pail. That creep I showed you last night, what was his name? Fanone. Jerk Fanone. Who knows where where he popped out of the ground with 500,000 subscribers almost. Oh, here's another clip of Trump. Here, let's play that. Let's play this. What you got to say there, boss man? Let me see.
We don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there.
I was very surprised with...
Yeah, that's the one I was going to play at the beginning. We don't need anybody. It'll be redundant of the other videos I had up. Yeah, we don't need anybody. We haven't needed anybody for a long time. You know, make this make sense. Make this make sense. I'll make it make sense. Federal judge temporarily blocks RFK Jr.'s efforts to reshape childhood vaccine policy. I've seen this on ABC, CNN. This one's ABC. Judge temporarily blocks it. Why would a judge get involved in Health and Human Services vaccination policy with children? Make it make sense. What business of it is it of some dopey judge? Information's been put out about how harmful it is to dump all that into a little tiny body all at once. I'll tell you why. Because the pharmaceutical companies make billions because they can grab kids when they're young and charge. Don't forget, we have a Marxist collective health system now. It's been nationalized. One way or the other, every time somebody gets a poke, the government sends the pharmaceutical companies money. So somebody needs to take, as we've said many, many times, take a damn good look at these judges. Trump put out some long truths. I hope I get to them. We'll see. Oh, here's something. I'm like James Wood. What's it? At least something. They've been charged. 3 Georgia state representatives have now been charged with COVID-19 relief money fraud. When do birds sing? You need to get little fish to catch the big fish. They've been charged. What kind of propaganda is this? I don't even know what the name of this. This came up on my feed. The something, can you all read that? The Something Express. I've been watching Trump videos all day today, and I watched them yesterday. I didn't hear this. Did you all hear this quote? We may hit it a few more times, Trump says. U.S. may strike Iran's Karg Island oil export hub, quote, just for fun, unquote. Did you hear him say that? Well, the libs went cuckoo in the damn comments. Of course. And I put in there, revoke because they lie. And somebody put in there, what an idiotic and easily provable lie, talking to me, right? So I answered back. Mainstream media is knowingly posting false information during a time of armed conflict. The stations in question should be shut down and responsible parties should answer to appropriate authorities via a public televised trial and or tribunal. We'll make up our own minds. Thank you very much. And for some reason, I didn't get a response from Seal Woman. And usually I would end that up by saying, go pet your cats. But she wasn't worth the extra typing. Here's some other garbage from CNN. Of course, James Carville was criticizing Trump for wearing the USA cap. He wearing a ball cap with it, bringing bodies off the plane. You fat SOB. If Trump has already won the Iran war, why does he need foreign ships to help him end it? You dumbasses. Who is this? CNN. A week ago, President Donald Trump told Britain not to bother sending ships to the Middle East because he'd already won. Writes Stephen Collinson. Man, would I like to have a word with that, whoever the hell that is. Now he's calling on special relationship ally, fellow NATO states, and even China to dispatch vessels to open the Strait of Hormuz. Listen, you idiot. They have been harassing shipping, them and their proxies, for damn near 50 years. They've been bombing ships every damn foggy day. And don't think they weren't working with Somalian pirates. Nobody does anything around there without Iran's okay. And he's trying to break the back of this terror conglomerate that has been going on for 50 flipping years. What are we supposed to call it a day? And it just starts up again? Oh, it wasn't us who was Hamas. Oh, it wasn't us who was Hezbollah. Oh, it wasn't us who was the Houthis. Oh, it wasn't us who was the Somalians. All the ones I just named have been involved in disrupting shipping for half a century. According to Kuwaiti newspaper Al Jazeera, Russian President Vladimir Putin personally offered to fly Mojtaba Khamenei to Moscow for an operation on his leg. Putin flies new Iranian leader to Russia for treatment. Now, up top, they said he offered it. But their main picture, which is what everybody reads, says that Putin flew him to Russia. So who knows what to believe, if he's even alive. Well, if he's sentient. He might be alive, but that doesn't mean he's sentient. Oh, is this, let me see. RFK. This is a good one to put on your meta page. Ever wonder why the school systems don't teach any real life skills anymore? This is RFK Jr. Because the moment a man becomes self-reliant, the system loses control. Health Secretary Bobby Kennedy. That's exactly 100% right. And you add the learned helplessness. When you add to learned helplessness, the reality that they have the authority to take whatever amount of the fruits of your labor that they deem necessary through taxation, because you're white, because you're richer than your neighbor, you'll never be free as long as they have that power. You may be able to control it, but it'll always rear its ugly head, and one day it will entirely consume the citizens of not just this country, but the world. That's their end game, to piss away as much as possible, destroy as much as possible. Where is that story? I got about where they're working on homeless problem, right? Here we go. I think this is it. Let me see if this is the right. Taxpayer-funded housing project still unfinished. Listen to the numbers, okay? Well, I'll put the numbers up here for you. Let me see if I got it. Well, I might not have copied it. Might be relying on my memory. How much money they've invested and how many people are supposedly someday going to benefit.
2x4s. An exclusive look at the Marina Del Rey multi-million-dollar homeless housing project, where for years neighbors say construction has been slow.
Where are the workers? Where is the urgency?
The city of LA bought the former Ramada Inn on Washington Boulevard in 2020 for $10.2 million. It was used as interim homeless housing before shutting down in 2022 to be converted into permanent supportive housing. Since then, for almost 4 years, the property has sat unfinished.
Why does it take so long and such a waste of money? There's nothing to even show for it.
City documents reveal the nonprofit PATH took almost 2 years to get permits approved, and by then they needed even more money. The city added another $1.5 million in homeless housing funds, plus loans and grants, bringing the total price tag to around $20 million for just 32 units.
$10 million purchase that was gifted to PATH, without really any other approval from the neighbors.
Could certainly do with it around here to have people living in there. There's a lot of craziness out here.
So right next to the building, we're seeing a pile of what looks like used toilet paper and then possibly a homeless encampment.
I keep hearing from our local electeds that we're in a crisis. Where's the urgency? We have 30 rooms here that should have remained open for the last 6 years.
City officials now admit the project exposed major flaws in the process. In a new report, the administrator urges to not authorize the demobilization of any Project Homekey sites until full funding has been secured. Expected completion now by the end of the year.
Last year they said it was going to open in spring, and then in winter they said it was going to open in summer. And if you take a look around, I bet you it won't be open next summer.
Back out here, Mike will show you construction still very much ongoing. City officials estimate the project should be done by the end of the year. Nearby residents not very optimistic. Reporting in Marina Del Rey, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Did y'all catch those numbers? They paid 10-point-something million for the property. Their budget is another 20+ million. It's been a 4-year project, nowhere near completion. So it's $30 million so far. And how many units were they working on? I'm putting a quiz to the chats. How many units are they working on? Keeping in mind the numbers I just said, that was in the report, which you can, of course, replay at your leisure, or even clip it and share it. Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. Randy got it. Good guess, the Sarah, but it was 30 people, 30 dwellings in an old hotel for right now over $30 million. And you see what they have for their efforts. Used toilet paper that they had to blur out on the camera in the bushes, and people laying in tents in their own filth and a hulk of a building that's nowhere near completion. They could have gave every family $1 million and you would have less human suffering than you see what you saw on the screen. Of course, they'd eventually make some bad decisions with it, but you could have given how many people, I don't know, $5,000 a piece, put it in an account for them, go look for a place to live. We will come inspect it and approve it. We've got $5,000 put aside for you to help you get your life back in order. How many $5,000 deals could you have done for $30 million? And had social workers actually social work, evaluate the person, see if they're in a drug program, see if they're are they in the situation because medical problems, or they're just old and nobody cares about them anymore. How many people could they have helped in dire need? Not just drug addicts and drunks. Do you ever look at the back parking area of a Walmart or any large store? You'll see vehicles parked there with bedding in the vehicles because the people that are working live in their car and work. People like that need help. But we've got that $30 million boondoggle. Here's Carg Island, by the way. This undoubtedly is going to play, as we all obviously know, some manner of huge role. I don't know why I didn't want to spread out. Oh, there we go. There's where the bombs were dropping on Carg Island. They say this is half of the size of Manhattan. Half the size of Manhattan. You see the oil storage tanks, and they blew up the military facilities there. Iran has stated that it will level Carg Island to the ground if the Americans land there. Previously, there were reports the U.S. were preparing Marines for a landing operation. 90% of Iran's oil shipments pass through Carg. They want to self-destruct is what they're threatening. I know I'm jumping from subject to subject, but I saw a picture. I said, I better put that up. But anyway, how many people could they have helped out? Or families, $5,000 a family. Or if it was some 75-year-old woman that doesn't have anybody to help her and she's living in her car. Don't think that's a problem. A lot of people. But, like I said, if they can find a way to steal it, they will steal. Oh, but don't worry. Zohran Mamdani, he's got it figured out now. They're not doing it right. He's going to do it right. Mamdani administration inks $1.9 billion 3-year contract to house homeless in New York City hotels. We just saw a $30 million deal. This is $1.9 billion. Half of it's probably already stolen and spent. Gone. Never get it back. Here's a graph. What is this graph? Whoa. Spending tripled. the population grew 26%. So, Ron, how are you going to make this work? You got 160 IQ. How are you going to make this work? This is Citizen Free Press. New York City spends more per homeless person than the median New York City household earns. They spend more per homeless person in the singular, than a household earns. $81,705 per person in fiscal year 2025. Just a hog trough for them to steal. And $81,705 is a floor. That's the least they spend on a homeless person. It excludes supportive housing, $500 million a year, mental health response teams, and New York Police Department encampment costs. The city projects $97,000 per person in 2026, almost $100,000 per person. And as you can see by the graph, the spending tripled and the population only grew 26%. But he got a 160 IQ. He'll figure it out. Dummies like me should just shut up. Dumb dummies. I'm a dummy. They got it all figured out. Here's one. I'm not even sure what she said, but I can tell it's trouble. Okay? Let's see what she's got to say. She's got something to say.
This is a reminder. I cut off my parents for supporting Trump. So if you think any of your silly little comments in the comment section are going to do shit to me, keep thinking.
She's going to need a housing voucher. She cut off her parents because of supporting Trump. Here's Caitlin Collins interviewing a brain surgeon. An up-and-coming government worker. Get a job you don't have to come to. Enter a bunch of garbage on X. And get a big paycheck. The health benefits and everything like that. She's got answers. Let's see what she's got to say to Caitlin Collins.
Who do you have more in common with, a Trump supporter or a radical Islamist?
Radical Islamist.
You saw someone wearing one of those red hats chanting "Make America Great Again," or you saw someone shouting "Allahu Akbar" running down the breezeway here. Who would you feel more safe with?
The one shouting Allahu Akbar. Yeah.
You would support the radical Islamists.
Yeah.
What is it about Trump supporters that you don't think you'd get along with them so well?
I'm gay.
But you would get along with a radical Islamist?
Yes.
And you're gay?
Yes.
In solidarity with radical Islamists, would you look at the camera and say in solidarity, Allahu Akbar?
Allahu Akbar.
And would you say "Make America Great Again" in solidarity with the Trump supporters?
No.
What is a bigger threat to America today, radical Islam or Trump supporters?
Trump supporters.
I'll say Trump.
Trump supporters in MAGA.
Yeah.
I would say Trump supporters in MAGA.
I would have to go with the Trump supporters.
Trump supporters in MAGA.
Trump supporters in MAGA.
I'd say MAGA. But we should be able to allow people to be who they are.
Yeah. Even if they're a radical Islamist.
Yes. There's no right to judge that.
So if someone came running down the street, Allahu Akbar, or if there was someone on the opposite side saying, "Make America Great Again," got my red hat on, which side would you run to?
I don't know.
As Christians, and we're following Christ, do you think it's important to call out radical Islam?
No, because it's a freedom of religion.
Yeah, it's a freedom of religion. How many terrorist attacks did Trump supporters engage in last week?
So many.
Just guess.
Thousands.
If you're a radical Islamist watching this right now, we pray for your conversion.
It's whatever they want to do, then do it. 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 Whatever they want to do, then do it.
That's hard to believe. That is hard to believe. Wouldn't you say? Well, here's some good news. Wait a minute. That's not what I wanted to put up. Wait a second. Let me see. Here's some good news. Remember the lady at Target that they were giving a hard time to? And she was so polite and nice and working hard. And they were, yeah, you got that red shirt on. You got that Charlie Kirk shirt on. That woman lost her job over that. She should have. Grandma Jeannie, Target staffer, harassed for wearing Charlie Kirk Freedom t-shirt, named Woman of the Year in California. So there's hope for people in California. Jeannie Beeman, the Target employee who went viral, wearing Charlie Kirk Freedom t-shirt, was named Assembly District 3 Woman of the Year in California. So that poor little district is probably surrounded by a bunch of lunatics, but they're still doing the right thing, wouldn't you say? I got a video here. I don't even know what it is. It's one of the black screens. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is.
Investigating possible.
Oh. $5 a pop ballot fraud. California probing video. Let's see. Is it Nick Shirley? Who is it?
Ballot fraud caught on camera after a viral video appears to show people in San Francisco being paid cash to sign campaign petitions with fake names. Senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is reporting out of LA on that for us. Hi, William.
Hey, Sandra, you know, what I'm about to show you is one reason people don't trust the election system. Long line, mostly homeless, getting $5 to sign election petitions. Not only is that illegal, they're also being asked to commit fraud by impersonating other voters hundreds of miles away.
Hey, what's the line for sign a petition?
Shut up! Don't say nothing more.
They get paid $5 to sign a petition.
They get $25?
$5.
Okay. So the guy who shot this says hundreds signed these petitions. No one reportedly asked for an ID, nor were they told what they were signing.
I get $5 too?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Just sign it.
Just sign it?
Yeah. You ready, ma'am? First name is going to be Carol. Last name.
Yeah, that was the name of an 81-year-old woman living elsewhere. So under California law, the state says it's illegal to give money or other consideration or exchange for initiative petition. It's also a crime to circulate any petition known to include forged names. In this case, they wanted signatures for two upcoming measures, one fighting a billionaire tax, the other pension reform.
Signature gatherers can get paid. That's pretty standard practice. But when you start paying individual people for their signatures, especially people who are down and out in their luck, that's borderline on criminal, in my opinion.
So now campaigns pay about $15 for every signature. So when you do the math here, they're clearing about $25 for every person, Sandra. Now, initiative spokesman says these circulators were subcontractors, not employees. They demand that these signatures now be rejected. No word on prosecution. Back to you.
All right. Wow. William Lajeunesse.
More NGO money at work. More NGO money at work. But it's drying up. It's drying up. Oh, I had to get, this is sickening. Jack Posobiec put this up. There he is, Tyler Robinson, the weirdo, soy-infused, vicious animal that shot Charlie Kirk. There he is. He's got a hole in his haircut. And what is he, 25? Tyler Robinson sits in court staring at a picture of Charlie Kirk moments before the shooting. There he is. What's going through that warped damn brain? His trial's starting soon. They're going to try to keep cameras to where they can't see him laughing and smiling. What a POS he actually is. You know, Sky News to Australia put this up again today, an hour before I took a screenshot. Something's going to happen from this kind of stuff. Trump brought it up. I didn't read his long post. Maybe I can read it tomorrow. When he's talking about the fake news and committing treason. Sky News Australia put this up, Iran's mouthpiece, and I talked about it last night, where they played uninterrupted 4 minutes of Iranian television broadcasting. Regime mouthpiece, CNN airs 4 minutes. So they reposted it again. It's on record. Aiding and abetting a foreign power? We shall see. I still got a lot of stuff, but our clock is ticking. Which I can't do anything about that. Here's something put on your meta page. Just put it up there without a comment. Deport it, drill it, ditch it, drain it. Well, I'll make it a little smaller so you can get a proper screenshot. There we go. There you go. That looks good. That looks good right there. Did I miss anybody coming into the... Trump spoke nicely about King Charles today. Did you all notice that? He covered a lot of ground. He spoke nice. He said he talked to a former president who said, I wish I would have bombed Iran. I wish I would have done what you're doing. And he wouldn't say who it was. Did y'all catch that? Trump posted this today. Something going to pop off about this? Jack Smith targeted then House Speaker McCarthy's private phone records in January 6 probe. FBI documents reveal. Speaker of the House, third in line of the presidency. Jack Smith did that. And then Trump followed that post up with this post. Jack Smith meeting with then FBI Director Wray, recorded as, quote, significant case notification in J6 probe. He met with Chris Wray months after he began investigating J6 in the 2020 election. Something's going to happen with Jack Smith. We all know that, though. Here's a video. I don't even know what it is. Let me see. What is this? I need an assistant. Oh, Trump again. Let's listen to him. Let me cut my mic off. Whoa. Almost cut my...
You know, we attacked Carg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word and the pipes will be gone too, but it'll take a long time to rebuild that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero.
Yeah, I forgot I had that clip in the little montage I was playing. Like I said, I need an assistant. But anyway, I don't know what this woman is talking about here. But I will play this and we'll find out what she's talking about, what this report is. This woman, what about this woman? We'll find out together. Let's see what this woman, what this means. So anyway, folks, I'll close out with this clip. And I want to thank you all, as always, for spending your precious time with me. If something big happens, I might go live tomorrow night. I don't usually on Tuesdays. But if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed, why not? And I haven't asked the whole video for you to give me a thumbs up. I should have done that a couple of times through the video, but I forget. But to make up for it, I put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. And I thank everybody who helped out this week with Buy Me a Coffee. I really appreciate it. Mike and Bev, Wayne, and Tammy. I appreciate it. And all my usual standbys that help out, I appreciate it very much. Kaboom, kaboom, Miss Menderzoop. I hadn't seen Gary. He should get an honorary shout out. Kaboom. As much as he helped the channel out. And all the others that come by. Let's see. All right. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it very much. So anyway, enjoy this video clip. Let's see what's going on with this woman. And I will be broadcasting soon. So anyway, you all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
This woman, 23-year-old Lehis Brito Costa, is in the Mecklenburg County Jail, charged with the murder of a woman who police are still trying to identify. It happened Tuesday afternoon. That's when CMPD was called for a welfare check at the Pepper Tree Apartments on Central Avenue.
There were a bunch of cops talking to people from this building and the other buildings.
Sayakula didn't want to show his face, but he lives above this apartment where police say the woman's body was found. He doesn't know her, but says a man, a woman, and dog live there.
I was shocked, to be honest.
We went door to door talking with neighbors who say they didn't hear anything but saw police come and go overnight. This apartment complex is not immune to crime. Last month, a woman was shot and killed in the parking lot after an altercation. An arrest was made in that case, too.
You've never seen her before? No, I've never seen this lady in particular.
Court documents say Brito Costa, who is charged with the latest murder, is not in the U.S. legally, and now ICE has put a detainer on her. Neighbors are just thinking about the life lost.
I don't even have words to express. I mean, I don't know what the family is going through, but I hope they have the courage and, spirit to get through.
Now, the suspect is being held here at the Mecklenburg County Jail on no bond. She is due in court tomorrow for a first appearance. That is when we could learn more details about this case.